Hello, today's the anniversary of the day in 1938 when Neville Chamberlain left Munich after some negotiations with Hitler. Hitler had been gradually advancing through Europe, as you know, annexing land that really didn't rightly belong to Germany and posing a threat to the whole of Europe. But Chamberlain thought that he had come to an agreement with Hitler that he would not advance any further. And so he came back triumphantly to this country to proclaim peace in our time. He had appeased Hitler, as the phrase now is for that historical event. Appeasement, it seems to me to be a word which describes now the process of giving in to somebody because they're stronger than you are and you're afraid of what might happen if you don't. But at the same time it has about it a feeling that you've done something at any rate to try and hold them in check. I suppose possibly Chamberlain might have thought that a better word for what he achieved was compromise. He'd agreed an arrangement with Hitler where Hitler could keep the bits of Europe that he'd already annexed on the condition that he didn't try and take any more. A compromise that Chamberlain seemed quite proud of. And I think in our lives sometimes we see our negotiations with other people as compromise. None of us, at least I speak for myself I think, but probably for lots of us, none of us like conflict. If we can avoid it, we will do. And certainly people wanted to avoid a Second World War after the devastations of the First. But if we compromise in order to bring calmness and peace in a situation where otherwise conflict might have developed, I think we have to be very careful that we are compromising, that there is genuine trust, and really who could have trusted Hitler, really? There needs to be genuine trust between both sides and genuine give and take. I mean, Hitler didn't give up anything. Because he was allowed to keep what he'd already taken. I think if we're making compromises in order to try and keep the peace, we need to be careful that we're not actually appeasing, because if you appease somebody, you don't actually solve the problem. And I mention this because, as I say, for me, if I can avoid conflict, I will do at all costs. But actually that's not always the right thing to do. And there are some times when compromise is not what you're doing. What you're doing is appeasing. And when you try and fob somebody off or fail to stand up to them because you convince yourself that actually the damage done by standing up to them will be more than the harm that they're causing by whatever they're doing, when you come to that conclusion and therefore you don't do anything, you're appeasing, and that can lead to serious consequences, as indeed of course it did in the Second World War. So today I think I should practice exercising a bit more muscle, a bit more determination to stand up in situations where I think the truth or justice needs to be protected, rather than finding often a lame excuse for doing nothing.